out flying this morning and I managed to snap off the battery lead. So the way I did that was I've taken, this is the standard Bugs battery, but I've taken the battery covers off it in the spirit of don't need them, extra weight. But when it fits in here, the angle that you put the battery in when it's right down there is quite sharp, so it eventually put so much pressure it came off. So I'm going to put an extra long lead on that and it'll be fine. But what I realised with the battery from the other Bugs 3, the original battery, I was going to put an extra lead on it, and then I thought, well, why not just put a block of foam on it, and so it doesn't go in so far. So what I've got now is that butts up against the front there. Simple, but it stops it going in too far, and it means when I put the cable in there, it's still sticking out, so I've got a nice loop. And when I'm flying, I put a rubber band around just to hold it in place. That works. Also using the Bugs 6 battery, the Bugs 3, which works fine. It's small enough that it sort of wedges itself in there nicely, so I can have the I don't even need a rubber band, I'd use one for security anyway, but I can have it sticking out far enough that I get a good loop, so it doesn't put pressure on the battery lead. So I thought it might be worth passing this on in way of tips. It's not been an issue with the Bugs 6 because I just use a couple of straps of it, Velcro straps, and it holds it all together and I'm fine. I took the battery cover right off that. I put the cover on the top again to protect it. But with the Bugs 3, this one, I don't want to put anything on the top because I've got to whip the top off to connect the battery lead to the nose cam. Other people have used a micro switch, which is a really good solution, and I'll probably get round to that eventually. Yeah, so for the moment I've kept the battery cover on, and I think I've come up with a solution. So another solution is something else I found for batteries with the Bugs 3 is your good old generic Cyma X8 batteries. This with a different kind of connector. I forget what they're called, but they're good quality connectors, they're great. So from one place I bought this for about, I think it was about $16 Australian, and this came from Japan, from China for a few bucks. But that means I can now, without any strain on the battery, fly with these, which are cheap, and they've got higher capacity. I think they're 2000 milliamps versus the 1800 of the standard Bugs, and they're cheaper. I mean, I don't want to buy Bugs replacement batteries with the unnecessary plastic casing around them and the lower capacity at a higher price. So droning on a budget. I just finished making the video and it dawned on me there's a better solution, but in that as I say, these connectors are far superior to the XT30s. The XT30s, in fact, I've modified slightly in that I've tried to file down both the opening in the back of the Bugs where the connector goes in, and also the connector itself, because they're a tight fit and you can do damage just taking them in and out normally. So it suddenly occurred to me, if I leave one of these in all the time, I can then use a far superior connector which allows you to hold the plastic rather than the wires to connect and disconnect. something like that. So it does mean that you stop using the original batteries, but if you got to the point with your bugs and you're still using them and you're on to replacement batteries, that's probably a good way to go.